Right, so this is how we're going to open Brightcel first time it arrives with you. Here I've got an email on which I've been sent two attachments. They are Brightcel itself and also the tax tables, because I'm assuming on this occasion that this is the first time you've used. So if I click on download and then I click open, there we've got the two items. Now the first thing I've got to do, the Brightcel tax tables, these we need to put in a place where the main program is going to be able to find them. So I've created in my C drive a folder called Brightcel. Brightcel tax tables, I'm just going to move across to there. You don't need to open it or anything, you can simply move it across. Now I will also move across the main program into Brightcel. I'm going to put that there for now. If you've got a document management system, whatever it is, then you may want to put that. You may want to put it in a different place. So I can now go to. If I look in here, right? So let's now get going. If I double-click that, you can see Excel opens up. This is an Excel program, remember, and we get a couple of messages. So this is enable editing. Yes, we want to say yes. We click that, and then we also get a message about macros and things. So again, we enable content there. There's our logo, and you can get rid of that if you get bored of it by clicking in the corner. So now you've got first question you get asked is an accounting end date. So each time you open the program, you'll get asked for this, and it means that if, for example, you're visiting an old closed version, you can preserve the date, and that will keep the same date that you had at the beginning. So I'm going to click change date here. Now the next message that comes up is this is a links message. So Brightcel itself, remember, is talking to the tax tables to extract the data so that it can do all of its tax calculations. So it's asking us, it's looking for Brightcel tax tables, it doesn't know where that is. So I think what we want to do is if we click change source, you only need to do this the first time that you open Brightcel. So we are, if you remember, we've got a directory, we've saved that on our C directory. If we click there, and then we click OK, so that shows now that we've got a little OK message, so we're all right. We've connected the two. You don't need to do that again unless you move your tax tables, because then effectively what's happening is Brightcel is looking in the wrong place for the tax tables. If you imagine the tax tables is your favourite book on the library shelf in your office, and somebody's come along and moved it, put it somewhere else, you can't find it any longer, you're just stuck. So effectively, as long as you leave the tax tables in the right place, you'll always be able to find them, and you can direct other versions of Brightcel when you download them for other clients. You can direct them to the same directory and the same place. And the good thing about that is you have one copy of the tax tables on your PC or indeed on your system, and then it will always when you update that annually as the new tax tables are produced, you've only got to update it in one place. So I'll close that. Now we've got to the landing page, as it were. So this is telling us a few basic instructions. Remember, this is about colors. Yellow cells is where you put in descriptions. Green cells is where you put in positive cash values. Red cells negative cash values. Brown cells could be red or green. Mix the two together, you get brown. So you could have a positive or a negative cash value. Blue is always going to be a date, and orange is a drop-down menu. You can see there are a whole bunch of different options there, but that is that if you like gives you you click on that and you'll have an option, and you can choose from the download. There are a few more instructions here. I'm not going to bother with all of those because we're going to talk through them as we go, but there's a bit more there. And there is also, you can see a link to the website. That's actually slightly the out-of-date address, but that is going to be updated, and then you'll be able to just click on that link and it will take you through to the website. So let's get started then. This is where you're going to end up, and the first thing you then do is you will go click on Home. This is the Home menu, so you can see you've got a number of options as to what you want to do. This pre-grant section, this is the administration period here in the middle. If you like, you're working left to right. And then that's the distribution. So if you like, those are the main accounting entry points. And then the rest of it is largely information. So reports, that's what's actually printing out at the end, and that's what you're going to send to the client. And you'll see there are a whole different range of different sections of the accounts which you output there. You've got an overview, which is going to give you, we don't have it's not a case management system, this, other than using the accounts to show you how far through the process you have got. So these overview sheets are there to help you with that. And you've always got the balance sheet, which you can look at any time, and that tells you what you've still got to administer, and the assets and liabilities you've still got to gather in, the cash balances and so on, and also how that divides up the balances due to your residuary beneficiaries. Then there are a few buttons there on inheritance tax, and there are some options for the system. The instructions one will take you back to the instructions page we've just looked at, and the tax calculators give you options as to turning those on or off, and you've also got options if you've got no IHT, or you want to increase the options you've got for IHT. So for example, if you want to incorporate business property relief, etc., you can turn those options on and off there. So that is essentially that is how you start and what it all looks like. So now, having established that, let's go to recording key data. We've not used this one before, so this is the first time we're being asked. It's an empty estate, so we can put in here the name of the deceased. And I am going to put in Peter Franks. Okay. Name of the deceased is entered as Peter Franks. Yes, that is correct. If it wasn't, so I'd misspelled, so I could click no, and then I get another go at that. So is that correct? Yes, it is. The date of death, let's say that they died on the 12th of February 2016. Okay, 12th of February 2016. You'll see that it's added in the 2000. I'd only put in the 16. That also is correct, so yes. So we've got Peter Franks, date of death, 12th of February 2016. That looks correct. Now, the point about this is that once you've said yes to this, you can only change it once. You can change it, so for example, if you've got a spelling mistake, or actually it proves that when you get the death certificate, it's not the 12th of February, it's the 12th of March, or indeed the 12th of February 2015. If there's a typo, those sort of things, you get the opportunity to change it. If you want to change it again after that, then I'm afraid you have to get in touch with Brightcel. But you get, essentially, you want to be careful and get it right first time. So I'm going to click yes, and there we are, we're off.